You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Cricket Podcast for our long-awaited and long-promised cricket quiz of 2023. This is a traditional episode of the podcast. I think it's the fourth year we've done this. What we're going to do is review the events of the year before in cricket in the format of a quiz. Our two contenders are Ross Legg. Ross, welcome to the quiz.
Thank you very much, Jack. Lovely to be here.
And Max. Max, welcome to the quiz.
Thank you. Yes, looking forward to it.
Max, the reigning champ.
He is the reigning champ. Was it 3-1 so far or 2-1? I don't know how many we've done. Is this the third or fourth year or fifth year? Not sure. We've been doing it for a while. Should have done.
I won last year. Ross won all the others. That's what you.
Yeah, there we go. So Ross is like the best at quizzes, and Max is the.
I'm in form.
yeah, exactly. I, of course, am Jack Hope. And before we get into things, we're just a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, we have been nominated for the Cricket Podcast for the best for the Sports Podcast Awards, Cricket Podcast of 2023. You can vote for that by heading over to the Sports Podcast Awards. Just Google that, navigating your way to the cricket section and voting for us. As with the last couple of episodes, we'll put the link for you to do that in the description. Every vote counts, so make sure you head over there. Should also say that we will be doing an India-England preview at some point in the next 7 days. So if you're tuning in expecting us to ramp up for that, yeah, it's on the agenda. But we thought we'd take early January as a little period to lie low before we get into, and I've been going through this, boys, it's going to be pretty hectic. We've got England-India Test Series, goes pretty much straight into the IPL, maybe a little break. World T20, England home test summer. Should be pretty tired, I think, by the end of September. It's going to be good, though. It's going to be good. So stick around for that. And it's a little bit of a shame. It's a little bit of a shame. I really wanted to talk about Sunil Gavaskar's bizarre rant. But we'll have to hold off on that. We'll have to. I promise we will talk about it on the next episode. Gents, are you ready to quiz?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right, Max, as the defending champion, you get to nominate your quiz team name first.
Yep.
Who will you be quizzing as?
I've decided that I would like my team to be called Bowling Off the Wrong Foot.
Okay, that's fine. Don't really understand it. Ross,
I can explain it if you want, but
don't worry about that.
I'm gonna be woke cum dog. That's my name this year.
Oh yeah, woke. That's the last we'll hear of those two team names, as I pretty much immediately forget them. But
immediately,
it's important. It's important, as everyone knows, when you do a quiz to have a name. No points awarded there. To kick things off, it's an all-play round, and I'm going to judge your answers for this. I'm going to ask you three questions. Who was your player of 2023 and why? What was your moment of 2023 and why? And who was your dick of 2023 and why? Max, as defending champion, you can kick us off with your player of 2023 and an explanation of why you've gone for them.
Right. My player of 2023, it's quite a personal choice, but also based on his exploits throughout the year.
You
in the biggest
hit yourself.
No, I had a pretty bad year. In the biggest on the biggest stage as well. Travis Head, a man who I struggle to remember so often. As I admitted to on this podcast many episodes ago. 100 in the World Cup final, 100 in the World Test Championship final, dominating the Test arena, the ODI arena, and even the T20 arena when he got the opportunity, getting a decent chunk of wedge as well to go and play for Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL. It's been an all-round great year for Travis Head, and he's made sure that I will never forget him ever again, or my ill-advised comments.
Not a bad answer, I'll say that much. Ross, what are you going to hit me with?
So I think Max is too mainstream there, and I think that's a problem. He's gone ICC, and we know that the ICC, we don't like them, right? It's not the thing to do. So he's gone mainstream. I'm going to choose a veteran who had a redemption arc that this podcast is a big fan of. It's Donut Boy. It's Piyush Chawla is who I'm going for this year. Mumbai Indians. main leg spinner. Everyone was like, no way is he getting in this team. And literally this dump truck of a bloke just ripped through teams, ended up being Mumbai Indians' leading wicket taker in the IPL this year. And I think that's the joy of the game, is that that's what it's all about. And when it comes to IPL, it's all about tapestry. And Piers Chawla's written another part of that tapestry this year.
I'm going to have to give the points to Max. I like the callback to Donut Boy Ross. I do appreciate that podcast mythology, if you like. But Travis Head did have a good year, and I think the fact that Ross, the Max can also call back into podcast mythology to the time when he described him as a forgettable cricketer is it's fantastic, isn't it? Like that. You don't get those.
That was the
arcs.
moment as well. That was the starting point for all.
Yeah, that was the spark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You don't get those story arcs on an ESPN Cricket Info article. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying there. So 1-0. Moment of the year, Ross. You can start first on this one.
I've got to be Alex Carey stumping Johnny Bairstow. The furore around that, and just the anger, the passion of it, the single-mindedness of wanting to win, and then all of like the rubbish that came along with it. Front page news in the media, people pretty much crying over it. Johnny Bairstow couldn't believe what was happening, and then Stuart Broad comes out and he's pretending to put his bat back in. He's doing all these kind of different things, and that whole theatre of that moment and the stuff that happened afterwards. That for me is going to be what I remember in 2023.
It's a strong answer, Max. I think that will live long in the memory. What about you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an easy one to go for, and you're rightly so. You pluck the low hanging fruit. Same series, of course. So many moments in 2023, but I'm going to go to the Oval and pick the moment that Stuart Broad retired, because not only is Stuart Broad a phenomenal cricketer, one of England's greatest ever seam bowlers, second lead wicket takers behind Jimmy Anderson, all the rest of that stuff, but what was so great for me about the moment of Broad retiring was that the Ashes were still going on. There was still a game on the line. It wasn't over. It was at the end of day 4, and he just had to make it all about himself, and that was peak Broad. And I loved that. I loved that from him. It was just so in keeping with everything about Stuart Broad and his career. So I'm going for that.
See, my problem with that is too granular. I mean, it's certainly the best Stuart Broad moment of 2023, but I think in 5 years' time, we're going to remember where we were when Johnny Bairstow was run out. Like we'll forget who won the World Test Championship. We'll forget who won, who did what in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. We'll forget most of the World Cup, if we're honest. Like we'll remember Maxwell and the Australia one. We will never forget. We'll know. It was a Kennedy moment, wasn't it? So that's an easy one for Ross.
Yeah,
it's 1-all.
Kennedy moment. I really like that. I really like that.
After the player.
Also, what I'm a big fan of so far is Max throwing a little bit of shade my way as he starts answering the question. There was a nice subtle little dig there.
Look, Ross, this has been a year of moral victories, right? And I'm already laying the groundwork. Don't worry about that.
Right, to round off stage 1 of the quiz, Max, who's your dick of the year in 2023 and why?
Yeah, well, I could have picked this as my moment of 2023, and it would have been a reasonable one. So my dick of the year has got to be Shakib Al Hasan. I mean, what a guy! What a guy to just to time out Angelo Matthews, and then afterwards just go with it. The shit-eating grin, I think, is what you described it as, Ross, and that is the perfect description of the way Shakib Al Hasan presents himself when questioned about these sorts of moments. Obviously, he's got the history as well of not reporting the approach for match fixing and all the rest of it, but of this moment, just like so unnecessary and so pig-headed, was brilliant. And then the follow-up of just totally not giving a shit. It's peak Shakib. I love him for it. He's a dickhead, and he knows it, and he owns it, and fair play to him.
It's not bad. I mean, obviously, he went on recently, actually, after the World Cup, to be elected as an MP in Bangladesh. Do you know what he did as his... Do you know what he did as his first action?
Slapped someone.
He slapped someone.
He did. Yeah, he slapped a reporter in the face. Shakib Al Hasan. reasonable guy. Ross, who's your dick of the year?
See, this is a tough one because there are lots of different options, but it surely has to. It's really difficult for me because as an England fan, I always want to choose an Australian kind of in this space. But they've actually had an unbelievable year, and England have had a pretty average year. And one of the most average performers has been Johnny Bairstow. After his incredible 2022, there was so much hype. He then snapped his leg in a golfing incident, got rushed back into the team when he clearly wasn't ready. And whether that's Bairstow's choice or whether that's Stokes' choice, etc., he just completely underperformed this year. Like, I think I can't remember him having kind of more than a couple of games in a row where he actually was any good. And I just think that is a bit too hard for me to take. I'm just, Johnny Bairstow for me, I'm afraid.
I think that's harsh on Johnny. To be honest, I think your dick of the year, your reason for giving him dick of the year is that he broke his leg and didn't come back that well from it. So
I've got high standards.
I mean, he did wander out of his crease like a numpty as well. But
Ross, unfortunately, no points for you there. It does mean that at the end of round one, it's not 0-0 as I flashed up on screen. It's 2-1, Max. Well done, Max. You're 2-1 up. Let's move on. Couple of easy-ish ones to start with, and important ones. Like I like with this quiz. Well, actually, there's no precedent with this quiz. I just make it up as I go along. This year, I've decided to start with 2 questions on Pakistan. Nice. Max, as the defending champion, you get to go first. You are 2-1 up. Can you extend your lead? Who is Pakistan's current head of selectors? For 1 point.
And by the way, are we playing the rule that if Max can't get it right, then I have a chance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Misbah Huck.
It's not Misbah. I mean, it's not a bad shout. It's going to be one of about 20 ex-players. I'm sure he's held the position. No shame in getting it wrong, but it does pass to Ross. Ross, who is Pakistan's current head of selectors?
So the reason I think I know this is because I got so outraged at them appointing Salman Butt inside in like this kind of reshuffle, and so I did a little bit of digging. I think it's Wahab Riaz.
You are correct, Ross. It is Wahab Riaz, installed, I think, back in December. So he's been in position for a month. We've seen signs that the Pakistan ship is turning around. They didn't do too badly down under. They were in.
They did lose.
They did lose. They lost 3-0. Yeah,
everyone loses.
But they could have lost worse.
Yeah,
that's the thing we need to bear in mind. They could have lost worse. It was a 3-0, but it could not have been 3-0 instead of a 3-0 that was only ever going to be 3-0. So well done, Pakistan. Wahab Riaz in charge. Second question, Ross, and you're definitely going to get this one. I should have done the questions the other way around. Whose tenure as selection consultant for Pakistan lasted 1 day?
Salman Butt.
It is Salman Butt. Yes.
That is peak podcasting. That is peak podcasting.
Unbelievably, Pakistani media, the world media, actually, Ross was so outraged at the appointment of Salman Butt, known match fixer, into the position of selection consultant that the PCB were forced to change their minds 1 day into his tenure and relieve him.
What did they think was going to happen in that scenario? Did they just think people just wouldn't care? They were just like, yeah, this guy's gone to jail for the thing you just don't do in this sport, and you're going to be putting young people's careers in his hands. He's already tried to ruin Mohammed Asif, so Mohammed Amir's in that space. You're just like, what were they even thinking?
There's quite a few Pakistan highlights this year, aren't there? I mean, obviously the World Cup was sort of a highlight in and of itself. We have Mickey Arthur, the webcam coach, for large chunks of the year. Babar Azam resigning, Shaheen Afridi being appointed to one captaincy position, then another one, and then they deleted the tweet about the other one. And nobody really knows whether he's the ODI captain or not, even now. And then Sham Masood coming like a bolt from the blue through the middle to take the Test captaincy, and not doing too bad a job so far. Let's go back. Go on, Ross.
Riaz will end up playing for Pakistan while he's there, because he's not. Is he actually even retired fully?
Well, I did look into this. The official retirement was last year, but you never know, do you? Like, it's
Time to reverse that call.
in world cricket. The board most like the WWE is Pakistan, and a surprise unretirement. That's a WWE move. Especially from somebody who has no right really to be unretiring themselves. So yeah, well, look, we'll see how it goes. Let's go back to January.
Cool.
Most of this is chronological from now after we've got Pakistan out of the way. January 2023. It started with a new competition, the SA20, won by Aidan Markram's Sunrisers Eastern Cape. The question is, Max, which old stager finished joint top of the wicket-taking charts with 20 wickets?
That was Roloff van der Merwe.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you've levelled it up at 3-3. For a bonus point, Max, can you name who finished joint top with him?
I'm gonna say I don't think it's right. But I'm gonna say Bjorn Fortwain because there's a few people around there, but I don't think that's right.
No bonus point there. But Ross, I'll give you a chance for a bonus point. Who was the top run scorer?
Oh, the top. I have genuinely no idea. And I literally was in South Africa as well when I was there. I'll say Joss Butler.
It was Joss Butler.
Fucking is, wasn't it? You bastard.
Ross gives a point. We're moving to February, where we had two concurrent test series, England and New Zealand, and the mouth-watering prospect of Australia touring India in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. We'll start with the England series. Question for you, Ross. Finished 1-1 after New Zealand came back to claim the second test by the margin of just one single run. Can you remember who took the final wicket?
Trent Boult.
Was not Trent Boult, no. I'm not even sure Trent Boult played in the series. So,
well, there we go.
Great answer with Joss Butler. Terrible answer. Terrible
That's
answer.
the way she blows.
Max, you've got the chance to steal a point back here. You're 4-3 down. Can you remember who picked up the wicket of Jimmy Anderson?
I believe I can. I think it was Neil Wagner.
It was Neil Wagner. So that's 4-4. It's high scoring quiz this year. I think it was about 8-4 one year. I've made the questions a little bit easier to give you a chance.
And we're definitely worth making the earlier questions easier because February's a long time ago.
Yeah, and fewer as well. Like the nearer the time period, the more points available.
Seems fair.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Australia were collapsing in epic style for India. Cast your mind back to that series.
Oh, that's when they just decided to play the sweep shot, didn't they?
Yeah. They had that. They went 2-0 down across the 4 matches after 2 tests. So we're playing for a draw, basically. Pitches, Max. I think it's Max. Is it Max's turn? Yeah, it's Max's turn. The pitches, of course, were a big talking point in that series. For the record, they span the right amount in the first and second test, and then they span too much in the third test. In that third test, Max, which slow left armour, who hasn't made a single appearance for his Sheffield Shield side this season, currently running drinks with Mitchell Swepson playing in the first team, which slow left armour destroyed India in the first innings, picking up 5 for 16?
Is it Matthew Kuhneman?
It is Matthew Kuhneman. That's good knowledge. I'm very impressed with that. I'm very impressed with that. In fact, Max, it's such a good answer that it's better than the answer I have written down here, which is Marcus Kuhneman. I got his name wrong on my own quiz. So I think that puts you in the lead. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with the IPL and the Ashes. The scores at the moment are 5 points to Max and 4 points to Ross. Cricket quiz of 2023. Things have started in lively fashion with Max going 5-4 up v Ross. Ross is the quiz king, but Max is the defending champion. Drama. Lots of drama. That's the takeaway from part one. We're going to move on now to the IPL.
Oh yeah.
One, of course, by the Chennai Super Kings. That won't be one of the questions.
Oh,
But, you know,
had that up my sleeve.
Well, that's good. Max, I think it's you first again. No, it's Ross first.
It's me.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I've color coded my quiz questions here, but I've forgotten to put an extra question in for you, Ross. So I'm going to have to remember that the colors are switched around, which
Okay.
could be tricky. So do bear in mind whose go it should be. Ross, question for you. If I say mangoes to you, which two players immediately spring to mind?
Mangoes.
Related to the IPL. Related to the IPL, of course. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't
Max
even remember what the mangoes thing was, so no idea, I'm afraid.
Max, do you have any idea?
No, I literally don't have a clue.
That's completely thrown me. Like, I'm just like, right. In my head, I'm going like, who's the most run scorers? Who's the wicket takers? Mangoes.
Yeah, I don't know. Joe Root and Yuzvendra Chahal.
No, it's got nothing to do with those. Do you remember the game featuring Virat Kohli and Naveen Ul-Haq? Where Kohli did something with his feet. Nobody knew what was happening on the field. I think it turned out later that Kohli was saying, "Don't run on the pitch" or something like that. You know, at the time it was construed that maybe Kohli was saying, "You're dirt on the soles of my feet." Anyway, there was a big dust up. Gautam Gambhir weighed in, typically diplomatic. Gautam Gambhir. There was a big sort of set to, and then afterwards on Instagram, Naveen did a weird Instagram post about sweet mangoes. It's quite a good year for Kohli in run-ins. He had another one with Ganguly, giving him the death stare and not shaking his hand. And again on social media, the pair of them unfollowed each other. So good year for Kohli, like with the bat and off the field. 10 out of 10 there, but no points for either of you, which is a shame. Max, question for you. Rinku Singh went ballistic in the final over of a game, hitting 5 sixes to help KKR to one of their 6 wins. Can you remember who he did the damage off? Who was the bowler?
So it was Gujarat, wasn't it? So I think
I remember who this is, Max.
I think it's Yash Dayal.
I think it's Yash Dayal as well. I think it's Yash Dayal.
Yes, he has.
It's a great shout.
Max has gone.
Max says he hadn't revised. I think Max, that was a great shout.
That was epic. I mean, I do think that the recent auction might have resurfaced the name of Yash Dayal.
Yeah, a bit of recent research into stuff.
But nevertheless, that's
he
really
went for like
good ball.
70 off his 4 overs. It's like,
yeah, and he also went for like 5 crore at the auction. So
it's not bad. 1 crore per 6. Ross, question for you: who was the only bowler to take a hat trick in 2023?
Who was this? This is a tough one. I'd normally go Narayan, but I'm going to say Mohammad Shami.
It wasn't Mohammad Shami. Max, this is like a commanding 7-4 lead.
God, no, I don't know. I'll have to just guess.
Any danger?
Just say
Rashid Khan.
Oh, well, Ross, you just committed suicide on that one. It was Rashid Khan.
I was going to say, I was saying it as Ross said that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which means, I believe that it's 8-4.
Oh,
Ross seriously under pressure.
That's a tough one to come back. That's a tough one to come back from that.
I'll give you every chance.
And this is the easy question from the round, I think, as well. The top run scorer and the top wicket taker both played for the same side. Who were they, Max? You need to name both for the point.
Shubman Gill and Mohammad Shami.
It was Shubman Gill and Mohammad Shami. 28 wickets for Shami, 890 runs for Shubman Gill. pretty good seasons for both of them, but they lost at the final hurdle, didn't they, to CSK? Any more memories from the IPL that you think I have neglected?
Probably, but
okay, all right, we'll move on then.
Nothing springs to
mind.
We'll
move on. There is one final IPL question. You both play this one. Dhoni played his 250th IPL match in the final, which he won because he's Dhoni single-handedly. Over the course of the season, he faced the fewest balls he's ever faced in an IPL. How many balls did he face? Ross, do you want to go first or second as you're a little bit behind here?
I'll go second.
Okay, Max, how many balls did Dhoni face in 2023?
All right, okay. 45.
45 is Max's entry.
That's nothing.
Ross, what do you reckon?
So is it just the person who's closest?
Yeah, the closest wins. If you get it on the nose, I'll give you 5 points.
That suggests I haven't got it on the
nose. I'm gonna say that he faced probably about 10 overs worth, so 60 is what I'll go for.
It's not far away, Ross. 57 balls is the number of deliveries that Dhoni faced over the entire IPL season. Obviously played.
That's what you want, right? Literally a big pay packet, take all the glory.
That is a really good gig. Stand around wicket keeping, claim the credit, lift the trophy, hit a couple of sixes here and there.
Sharp your guns.
Sharp your guns. Ripped Dhoni. Like that's he's so ripped now. He hasn't got the endurance to face more. So
so I get a point for that.
Only faced 57. Yeah, go on, Ross. You can have 2 points. Which means that it is.
Hang on a minute.
It is 8-6. It is 8-6 at the end of the IPL round. We'll move on to the Ashes now. Starting with you, Max. Prior to the series, England were rocked by the news that Jack Leach would be ruled out. How did Ben Stokes recruit his replacement?
He texted Moeen Ali and asked him if he fancied coming out of retirement.
Needed to be more specific than that, Max. What did he say in the text?
It was just one word, wasn't it?
Ross, do you know?
Was it like Test cricket question mark lol or something like that?
No, I'm going to give you both 0 for that one. It was Ashes question mark.
Ashes question mark.
Yeah, it was one word, and you're both in the ballpark. Didn't quite put it off.
All right.
Ross, one for you. Who, according to the Cricket Australia website, was uninterested in how his abusive language towards Australia's century maker might be perceived? Thinking back to the Edgbaston test here.
Ollie Robinson.
It was Ollie Robinson. Yep.
He's got a shit-eating grin. That bloke, definitely.
Usman Khawaja, who'd faced about 1 million balls for his 141, was given a big send-off by Ollie Robinson.
I watched a lot of those deliveries in person.
One of the great innings. It was a really good innings. Not necessarily the sexiest, though. I would say. Then Ollie Robinson as well. I mean, it was a great shame, I think, thinking back to the Ashes, that Ollie Robinson got injured whilst he had that wisdom column, where he, completely went off the reservation, just chatted absolute nonsense. Obviously, once he was out of the dressing room, it wasn't quite as fun. But what could have been? That means it's 8-7 to Max. Ross has closed the gap quickly. Max, you must be feeling the pressure here.
Quickly and controversially, but
Here's your question. We're moving ahead to the Lord's Test. England were 1-0 down early on day one.
Quiet test.
Early on day one, what did Johnny Bairstow carry from the cricket field?
A Just Stop Oil protester.
It was a Just Stop Oil protester. Everybody thought at that moment that would be the iconic Bairstow thing from the Ashes.
In that test.
Yeah. In the next 3 days. No, not even close. We've already talked about the Alex Carey controversy, or the Bairstow controversy, which depending on depending on which way you look at it. But don't forget the adjustable oil protester that was under one arm as well.
Yeah,
It wasn't
literally
just a
carried
bear
him off
hug.
like a suitcase. It was incredible.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Ross, we're moving on to Headingley now. What did Alex Carey not steal in Leeds?
Haircuts.
It was a haircut. 10-8 to Max after that question. Obviously it really got to Carey, the haircut and the run out. From that point on in the series, his top score was 28. He got 2 sub 10 scores in Leeds. Got dropped from the Australia World Cup side. Didn't really pull up any trees against Pakistan either. Just goes to show, doesn't it, boys, that crime doesn't pay.
Karma.
Even if you actually didn't commit the crime that Steve Finn accused you of. 10-8 to Max. Moves to the 4th test.
10-9.
Is it 10-9?
10-9.
10-8. All right, 10-9 to
you
Max.
just asked me a question. I got it right. It was a haircut.
All right,
That's the point.
10-9.
Yeah.
We're coming out fighting here.
It's 10-9. It was 8-7.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's now 10-9.
Well, I'm glad somebody's paying attention. Max, your question. The 4th test was rained off with England in an overwhelmingly strong position. The Australia attack was flayed for 592 runs in just 107 overs. Who won the man of the match?
Zach Crawley.
Who was Zach Crawley? That's quite an easy one there. 189 of 182 balls. Kind of robbed of the innings that would have given him a forever career in after dinner speaking. Like, he would have been able to dine out on how he turned around the Ashes single-handedly. Now it's just sort of like a great innings in a drawn series.
But it was great.
Crawley's loss is cricket's loss. I think we can all agree on that. It's a massive shame. Finally, Ross, we head to the Oval with Australia searching for a first Ashes away win since 2001. And England trying to avoid a series defeat. What happened to precipitate a lot of crying by Australia and a huge batting collapse?
Was this a lot of crying by Australia? The only thing I can think of is Stuart Broad swapping the bails.
Half right there. That did precipitate a bit of a batting collapse, but Australia didn't cry about it. Marnus Labuschagne was a bit upset.
Yeah,
but not Australia as a
This is
nation.
weird.
Yeah, we're what upset Australia. Max, this is to
It was
pull-
it was the changing of the ball by the
It was the
umpires.
changing of the
The
ball.
one that swung a lot more and looked a bit shinier.
It was, yeah. It was supposed to be like a 25 overall ball or something like that, and or maybe a bit older than that, 50 overs.
Ponting losing his mind on commentary.
Yeah, and instead they plucked out basically a new one. And if the Australians are to be believed, there's also a little man in it, maybe Ben Duckett, who was piloting it to ensure that it was completely unplayable. I believe that's 12-9, so Max has reopened his
He's
lead.
performing well. You got to respect it.
Yeah, he's putting the pressure on. Max, we must remember there was
Could be a
also a
bottle,
women's
though.
Ash. There was also a women's Ashes series going on over the
was.
summer. Australia retained the urn, but what was weird about how they did it?
They did it after losing like 4 games in 5. It ended up as it was drawn series, wasn't it? But England won the ODI series and the T20 series. I
That
think
is exactly right. That is exactly right. England lost the Test series 1-0, then won the T20s and the ODIs 2-1 each, which meant in matches it finished 4-3. In series it finished 2-1, but in Ashes points it finished 8-all. Meaning
Classic
that
cricket.
the Ashes were retained. Yeah, that's it.
hey,
Classic cricket.
Test cricket's the big one.
That was classic cricket. So that makes it 13-9?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ross, who won the moral Ashes?
Obviously England, mate. Obviously.
Well done. It's 13-10. Little bit of an easy one for you now. We're going to wrap up part 2 with some records and numbers. We're going to get through this section quite quickly because
Okay.
the timings of the show don't work otherwise. Max, start with you. What did Nepal's Dipendra Singh Eri do against Mongolia?
Took I don't know, 6 wickets and 6 balls. I genuinely don't know.
It wasn't 6 wickets and 6 balls. Ross, thinking records and numbers here.
Did he hit the most runs in an over off of a bowler?
He didn't do that. That was Yuvraj Singh against Stuart Broad about 15 years ago. No, it was impressive. He did break a Yuvraj Singh record. He broke the international T20 record for the fastest 50, a 9-ball half century.
Wow.
9 balls.
8 sixes.
Wow.
2023 Asian Games. That match also featured the fastest ever 100 in an international T20, the highest team score, 314, and the largest winning margin, which I think was 277 runs.
Would that have anything to do with the 314 game by any chance?
314 v 41 all out was the score. But fair play, Mongolia.
Was Mongolia on the end of that?
Yes, it was Mongolia. Yeah, cricketing powerhouse, Mongolia. So the score remains 13-10. Ross, the record for the highest international T20 chase was also broken this year. Who broke it and who were they playing?
Oh,
I'll give you a clue. 259 was the score.
T20 was this?
Yeah, T20.
Highest T20. I want to say it's someone like Uganda or Rwanda. It's in my head. I'll say it was. I really have no idea. I'm going to say Rwanda versus. Rwanda versus Uganda. Oh, okay.
You're wrong. It wasn't Rwanda. Matt, do you have any idea? 259 runs.
No, I don't. Is it Sri Lanka against the UAE?
It was real cricket teams. West Indies posted. West Indies
South Africa.
Score. South Africa chased it down. Ross will give you a point for remembering that. So it's 13-11. Now
I know how Ross felt in the first 3 editions of this quiz.
I've never seen such. I've never been on the receiving end of Jack's charity. This is unbelievable.
The cock with a 44-ball ton, which is not bad in that game. Which opening batter broke the record for most international sixes, Max, this year in 2023? Not in a year, in their career.
In their career, David Warner.
No, not David Warner. Ross, can you steal to make it 13-12?
Most sixes as an opener, was that?
Yeah, no. Which opening batter broke the record for most international sixes, or most sixes hit in international cricket during their career?
Got me this year. Rohit Sharma.
It was Rohit Sharma, yeah, and he's streaking ahead off into the distance.
Realised that as soon as I'd said David Warner.
He's hit almost 600 international sixes. That's 3,600 runs of sixes.
That's a lot.
Overtook Gale, Chris Gale, not the other Gale, Andrew Gale, or
which most people get them confused.
Marcus Gale.
Yeah, Marcus Gale, the ex-Wimbledon centre forward. Yeah. 13-12, is that?
Yeah, I believe so.
13-12. Ross,
no chance to
make
it up. The hijinks here is unbelievable.
Ross, which team broke the record for the largest margin of victory in women's Test cricket?
Oh, fucking, that is actually ridiculous. Can I have any? I'm guessing India must have won, but who shit must they have played? I really don't know. I'm going to say India versus someone. India versus Malaysia.
India versus. It's an interesting one. All you have to do is give me the name of the team. So you made that,
which is India, right?
Yeah,
you have actually got it right. This might be news to you. It shouldn't be. Malaysia, not a test playing nation.
England.
It was against England.
Yes, they are.
They won by 300.
I need to listen to the question. I did not know this was test match cricket. thought it was going to be like a like a
347.
slight like random friendly. Yeah, well, they do. Well, I got the point.
Max, easy one for you. Who hit the most runs in Test cricket, men's Test cricket?
Usman Khawaja.
It was Usman Khawaja with 1,210 runs or 1,210.
That is a seriously good year, isn't it? That is a seriously good year.
Yeah, average of 52 as well. So going all right there. Ross, who took the most wickets in men's Test cricket?
Who's played the most? That is a good question. I don't think Rabada played enough. Cummins took a few. I'm going to say Mitchell Stark.
Mitchell Stark is incorrect. Max?
Tough one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the cum dog and hope that the end of December took him over the line.
Incorrect. It was very close between the two of them. Nathan Lyon, 47 wickets at 24.95.
Well, and he didn't even play like all of the Ashes as well, right? That is
he
good
did.
going,
He
Gary.
did have a
go to
tour
India.
Did go to India, which is basically the thing you need to do if you're a spinner. And you want to end up in the top.
What were the numbers in the end between the two of them?
I think 45 for Cummins or 43. I can't remember. I haven't got the list in front of me anymore. It was a lot. It was a good number. Max, who took the most catches in Test cricket?
Which is very important. That's how you judge it.
Okay. So, Steve Smith.
Well, Steve Smith. Good answer, Max. 15-13. Ross, who broke the record for most ODI hundreds, and how many have they now hit?
Most ODI hundreds. Would it be Rohit Sharma again on your list? I'm going to say Virat. I'm going to say Virat Kohli, and he's now got 50 of them.
Oh my God, he's got it right.
Fuck off. I mean, surely that has just come out of like you have actually remembered that without realizing, right? Because
yeah,
it wasn't
I remember there being
occurrence.
like a. Yeah, I was just like, if that's in my head, there was like a 49 flashing in my head. I remember this being something.
Yeah,
because it was Tendulkar's record, wasn't he? When he was literally just being so selfish in the World Cup and was just batting for his own record there.
Exactly.
Your brain's a wonderful thing.
Last question of this round. How many consecutive player of the matches did Hayley Matthews win for the West Indies? Closest number wins. Max, you get to go first this time. No, Ross, you get to go first this time.
I think it was 10.
Gone for 10. Max, what do you reckon?
8.
It is 8. Good knowledge, Max.
Bravo.
16-14. There's no 5-point bonus for that question. Unfortunately for you, Max. Right, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back with the annual game of Tenable for the World Cup. Nice. And eventually the winner of the quiz. Welcome back to the Cricket Podcast Cricket Quiz of 2023. Just a reminder as we enter part 3 that you need to head over and vote for the Cricket Podcast in the Sports Podcast Awards Cricket Podcast of the Year category. You can do that by basically Googling what I just said, Sports Podcast Awards Cricket, or following the link in the description. It should take you a couple of minutes and it will make us very happy if we win, or even if we podium, to be honest. You know, I'd take a podium.
Honourable mention.
Yeah. Honourable mention. No, I wouldn't have an honourable mention. I would rather fail than get an honourable mention. Honourable mention is like Clubman of the Year or something like that, isn't it? You know, most sporting player. It's a nothing award. Top 3.
Always remembers to bring the oranges at half time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The scores in the quiz 14-16. Ross, you're on 14 points. Max, you're on 16 points. There's not long left, fellas, in this quiz, and it's time for our annual round of Tenable. Max, you once appeared on the ITV3, ITV,
So it's
Channel 3.
Yeah, it was ITV,
Prime time.
main one.
ITV daytime TV quiz featuring Warwick Armstrong as quizmaster.
Warwick Davis.
Can you, whatever, Armstrong, Davis? I've never watched it,
Marcus.
apart from the episode that you were on,
Yeah.
which ended badly, shall we say? Can you briefly explain the rules in like 20 seconds? Because I've wasted the time that you
Absolutely,
had to
So, yeah, the contestants are presented with a question, and the answer to the question is a top 10 list, and they have to name the 10 answers to that list. Is the gist of it?
There you go. You're going to get a point per correct answer. No lives. So if you get one wrong, it just passes to the other person. The category is World Cup. Who hit the most runs? Get it in any order, and it's the top 11 because it's cricket and there are 11 players.
All right.
Ross, as the underdog, you get to go first. Just name a player, and then it passes to Max.
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli, top of the list, obviously, 765 runs. High score of 117. Not a bad World Cup. Not a bad World Cup at all. So 1 point to Ross. Max, you can go next.
Rohit Sharma.
There you go. Second on the list, 597 runs. Fair way off Kohli, but arguably a better tournament. Went ballistic in basically every match that he played in. I'd say it's quite arguable, isn't it? Like there's 170 runs in it, but it was a good tournament.
You set the tone.
Yeah, Ross, back to you.
Well, he must have had a pretty good strike rate, Rohit Sharma. He was bloody brilliant in the World Cup. Daryl Mitchell.
Daryl Mitchell makes the list, dropping down here now to number 5. 552 runs in 9 innings, top score of 134. So that's another point to Ross. Max.
Quinton de Kock.
Quinny finished number 3. Hit quite a few tons, didn't he, Quinny? And was very good early in the tournament. 594 runs. So that's a point to Max. Back to you, Ross.
Rachin Ravindra.
Rounding out the top 5 in 4th place. Didn't quite get them in order, but we're doing well in terms of getting the big boys first. Breakout tournament for him. 578 runs in 10 innings. Top score of 123. Red. Max.
Okay, this is where we need to start thinking a bit, isn't it? I'm going to go David Warner.
David Warner, number 6. Didn't have to think that hard, did you? Banged it straight out.
After that, I have to start thinking.
535 runs for the Bull in his final ODI World Cup. Final ODIs he'll ever play. Top score of 163. That was the game against Pakistan where he spooned the world's easiest catch on like 2 and then made them pay. Ross, back to you.
I'm going to stay with Australia. I think Mitch Marsh hit a bunch of runs.
That's not bad thinking, Ross. You're picking one of the quite difficult ones there. That's the 10th player on the list, 441 runs. Again, another one of the Aussies who had a massive day out in one of their games. We might have hit 2 tons, but he got that big 177, which was a nice boost. So a point to you. Back to you, Max. We've had 7 correct answers, so there's 4 more points available.
I'm gonna stick with Ross's theory there. So go with an Indian player, and I think Shreyas Iyer scored like basically a nonsense 100 right at the end that put him in the top 10. Just was it against the Netherlands or someone?
I think he got was his 128 not out against the Netherlands, because that is pretty much what gets him in to the top 10. Finished at number 7 with 530 runs. So you're right, which means you get a point, and it goes back to Ross. There's 3 more names on this list, Ross. You're gonna have to...
I'm going to stay with India. Did he hit loads of runs? He loves batting, so I'm just going to say King Legend.
Of course, King Legend's on there. Of course he is. He opened up the tournament with the 98 or the 99 where he failed it, or he hit the ball for 6 when he should have hit it for 4. That was it, wasn't it?
Punched his back. He's like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
I've won, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a 5th point for Ross, scoring fluently here. There's 2 points available. Max, can you get one?
I'm struggling quite a lot now.
There was loads of cricket played with it. Absolutely
there was loads.
loads.
Did anyone from Pakistan come close?
Don't even go down the England route.
England definitely not. And I can't even remember half the other teams that were in there. I don't know. I'm gonna let's go with Rizwan. I don't think it's right.
No, Rizwan. He did have a couple of good innings, Rizwan. One of them, I think, in the Netherlands game where they were a little bit dead and buried. Well, not dead and buried, but
and the Sri Lanka comeback, I think, as well.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
One of the weak teams. He did not enough to get him into the top 11 though. So you miss a chance there, Ross. This is to get back in the game.
I really like the theory of if you hit a big daddy century, then you'd be on this list. So, but did he bat enough times is my issue for the big show. So I'm going to go with one of the South African batters. Who opens up with thingy?
Bavuma. You go with Bavuma.
No, I'm going to go number 3, who I think is Rassie van der Dussen.
It's a good answer, and that's the last answer in the top 10. Ross is on a streak of 6 correct answers. Ross, Max, you got 4 out of 5. Not bad recollection of events from 2 months ago that we covered in extravagant detail.
It's like sketched. I think like Brandon just did like 130 in one of the games.
Yeah,
133. Really well remembered. There's one more name up for grabs, the 11th spot. I'll give you their top score. It was 106, so it's not somebody who just monstered everyone once, but they did do something else quite notable. So, 2 clues, I suppose. Max, your chance.
106, and something else notable. That's so what would that be? I don't know. I'm pulling up blanks here, I'm afraid.
Blanks? You going to throw a name out?
Who does he play for?
Well, no, sorry,
No.
I can't think of Kusal Mendes.
Not Kusal Mendes. I mean, that's a curveball. I will say that, Max. Think Kusal Mendes.
Where's he on the list? Where's he on the list?
30th. I've just got it now.
I don't know why I said that.
He's just 6 runs behind Engelbrecht from the Netherlands.
Can I have another go?
Ross, this is to equalise, I think. No, actually, this is to take the lead.
Oh.
So I would have said Glenn Maxwell, but the fact you said you gave his score as 106.
Maxwell got 400 runs to finish in 13th place.
Is that it? Because he had like 200 in one game. That was wow.
Yeah. If you don't get it this time, I'm gonna
Max, name another South African batter for me.
God, you're not going to trick him that easily.
Bavuma played, Markram played. Who's the Coxsackie keeper? No, I think I'll go. I might go England. I thought David Milan hit quite a few runs.
That's incredibly unlucky. It's unlucky.
David
Milan 404 runs. Aidan Markram 406 runs.
Oh, fuck off!
The notable thing that I was referring
to,
Aidan Markram hit the World Cup's fastest ever century before Glenn Maxwell overtook him shortly after that.
He was good. But Markram is a serious talent. That century he hit against India the other day was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. The end of that round.
Touch my guns.
It is 20 all. There's a few more World Cup questions to go. Ross.
Yes.
Who did the tournament's top wicket taker play for?
Was this the left armer? Madhushanka. Is it
Not
Sri
who-
Lanka?
No. Max?
Was it India?
It was India. Mohammed Shami. Ross.
That was a bit
Which
stupid of me,
team-
really?
Which team went undefeated in the group stage?
India.
21 all. Max. Who did the tournament's top run scorer play for?
Oh, India.
Nice. Ross, who hosted the tournament?
India.
It's 22 all. Max, which team won the tournament?
Australia.
Oh, it was Australia. It was Australia. So 23-22. Good run of answers there. Some high scoring. Ross, you missed out pretty badly at one
So
point.
why did I say Sri Lanka?
You thought it was a trick
23-22.
I did, yeah.
23-22 to Max after what should have been a gimme. But there's one more round to play, and this will conclude the cricket podcast, cricket quiz. During the tournament and after the tournament, the World Cup was lambasted a little bit for being boring, but we're going to prove that it wasn't. So what I need from you, one interesting thing for a point about the tournament, and we'll carry on. So you can score as many points as you can think of good points that were interesting about this World Cup. Does that make sense? I'm not sure I've explained it that well.
Yeah,
Right.
we're playing interesting things that happened in the World Cup tennis, basically, aren't we?
Exactly. Yeah, Max, you
Yeah.
can serve. So, I'll give you 3 seconds to think
Yeah.
of the first one. 3,
Timed
2,
out. Angelo Matthews.
timed out Angelo Matthews. Ross, what was an interesting thing that happened in the Cricket World Cup?
Kohli going past Sachin Tendulkar's records. That was pretty good.
That was good. Yeah, Max, back to you.
Glenn Maxwell beating Afghanistan on one leg.
That was a good moment. Ross.
I mean, Travis Head was pretty good. That his performance in the final was pretty incredible.
Travis Head in the final. I'll accept that. Max.
Netherlands beat South Africa.
Oh, that's a good
That
one.
was great. That was a great game. Yeah. Ross, back to you.
I've just we said it in the last round. Aidan Markram's fastest 100.
I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Max, back to you.
India swapping over the pitch the night before the semi-final.
That was peak cricket. I mean, that's up there with the women's Ashes scoring system from earlier. Like India just being like, "Yeah, we're going to play on a special pitch, please," and nobody being able to do anything about it. Just like we can all see what you've done, guys. And then, Australia winning after that happened, even better. Ross, back to you.
I think the start of the tournament, when they said you're not going to get any tickets from an online platform, you have to go get them in person, was absolutely spectacular.
That was, I think the world's worst ticket system in general was a highlight. Max, back to you. We've got 8 good things about the Cricket World Cup.
Nice.
This is the most good things ever.
I think I'm going to go for the emergence of Rachin Ravindra. First Kiwi to score 3 tons in a World Cup, I think it was.
Take that. Ross, back to you.
I'm kind of running out of some now. Afghanistan beat England. That was quite good.
That was great. That's the 10th one. Max, can you keep the streak going?
Yeah, just pausing India-Pakistan for a light show.
Oh,
that
yes,
was excellent.
that was fantastic. I think afterwards, Glenn Maxwell saying that the light shows were giving him migraines, and then just carrying on doing it. Just playing cricket here, lads. Don't worry about us. Ross, back to you. That's 11 good things. Can you keep the streak going?
I think Cumdog lifting the trophy for Australia was actually a pretty momentous moment, and it meant that they'd won the World Test Championship, and they'd won that, and they'd won the T20. Like, fair fucking play.
I think that was quite good. I think what made that even better was the whole Narendra Modi thing, where he sort of shuffled on, gave him the trophy, then kind of left him for about an hour and a half to stand by himself. Max, for 13, unlucky 13 good things that happened in the World Cup.
Australia did complete the biggest ODI international win ever over the Netherlands.
Nah, that's boring.
It was a record, but that was broken.
That's boring, I'm afraid. Ross, if you can name one thing here, it's a tie.
It's got to be something to do with Pakistan. They did chase that massive score against Sri Lanka in quite comical fashion. That was quite fun.
I'll give you that. I think.
Just squeezing in.
We'll probably run out of good things at the Cricket World Cup. We probably need a tiebreaker here, don't we?
Lucky you prepared one.
I didn't prepare one, which is.
No, Max should win. No, Max should win. You gave me 2 points earlier in the quiz for something I didn't deserve 2 points for.
No, there's got to be a tiebreaker. There has to be a tiebreaker. Here's the tiebreaker. We were talking about sixes earlier. Rohit Sharma broke the record for sixes in a career. In the World Cup, how many sixes did Rohit Sharma hit? Ross, you can go first. Max, you can take second choice.
How many did the hitman hit? Well, but him personally, or the over?
Yeah, him. That's normally what you mean when you say how many did X player hit.
I literally have no idea. I'm going to say 50.
56s. Ross heard that Rohit Sharma had hit 597 runs in the World Cup about 10 minutes ago. And now he's just told us
300 of them in sixes.
More than half of them in sixes.
Yeah.
Max.
No, I mean, obviously, the sensible thing for me here is to say 49. So I think I'll say 49.
Can I have a redo?
No, you can't have a redo.
How many games was it? 9 in the group stages, and then
it was
so like
he was very aggressive.
Yeah, let's say hit 3 a game. Let's say hit 3 a game. It's 33.
That's really good logic, and it would have got you to about the right answer, which was 31. Max, I think you take a deserving win in the cricket podcast.
Yeah, Max, you were on top 4 there, mate. That was unbelievable. Some of those ones are great.
Well done, Ross. I think that's the highest scoring quiz we've ever had.
I think quizzing was the true winner.
Yeah,
today.
I think so. Yeah. You're right there.
29 points all with the tiebreaker going to Max. Well done, Max.
That was well deserved. Handshake over the screen. Well done, sir.
Very good.
2023 in the books. Final reminder, do go and vote for the Cricket Podcast, the Sports Podcast Awards, Cricket Podcast Award. It's a mouthful. Let's blame them. They need to get a better name for that. Like and follow.
Well done, host. Well done hosting, Jack. That was a good
Yes,
quiz.
thank you again for the quiz, Jack. Very enjoyable, as always.
Yeah. Yep, indeed. Well done, gents. We'll be back with India v England preview pretty soon. Goodbye.
See you later.
You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.